today we were talking about Vietnam, right?
Vietnam. Let's get into Vietnam today.
Just pretty much just in general. I know we said we were gonna like pick out some battles and things like that, but I think this is just one of those, and maybe we'll break it down later, like maybe find something. But I think this is like a topic that we can probably just
talk about. Just kind of a lot of respect for the vets that served.
Yeah.
Things we learned there we do today.
Oh, I agree. I think
warfare.
Any time I can get the opportunity to talk about Vietnam, I'll probably do it. Just because, for me personally, I think it's like just a way of showing them gratitude or being thankful, because they really did. They went through some shit, and then they didn't get the welcome home like I did or you did.
Right.
So
Yeah, they didn't. They went through a lot, and they weren't appreciated. It's sad. I mean, guys like us appreciate them, but back then,
yeah,
a lot of things going on in our country. You know, a mentality that still favors our country today. You know, with
right.
the anti-war, but you know, we owe them a lot. I feel I know there's a few Vietnam vets I owe my life to.
Yeah.
Kind of saved me with my issues, and if it wasn't for him, who knows where I would be at right now. You know,
Yeah.
so I still think about him every day.
That's what's crazy is I know we've had a lot of conversations about it, but I always think that like I don't know, for me, the Vietnam soldier really does bridge the gap between like modern warfare, what we consider now, and like Korea and World War II, you know, because like a lot of them, like their dad probably served in like World War II or Korea, or their uncles or whatever, and then they go into Vietnam and like it's a little more modernized and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and you know, like we talked about, like you said, it's that bridge, because you figure what we fought in even Korea.
Yep.
This is the line. Those Vietnam vets went into a totally different way to fight war.
Yeah. Like
It wasn't conventional.
Yeah, because they had like some uniformed, you know, North Vietnamese.
Oh yeah.
But then they had ununiformed.
The
that
man
was
in
like,
black pajamas.
Yeah. That like
you know?
literally would farm during the day and then be at combat at night. So it's like they fought. I think both sides, like they bridged that gap between like World War II and now. Like, I think that's why we love them so much.
Yeah, and then that's it. You know, just what they endured. And you look at the old footage. You know, their daily life. You know, being out there and just and again to go in and fight an enemy who was seasoned already. Figure they already fought the French. You know, in the 50s and late 40s. You know, so they were pretty seasoned.
I mean, when you look at there's a lot more than just what meets the eye with Vietnam. Like there really is. It's just you look at there's urban warfare. There's fighting out like, you know, pretty much like we did in World War II, or you know, in the sense of like take this hill or open field conflict or whatever. There's just so much going on. Like it's crazy to think about.
All the doctrinations of war. It was they did it all.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, from urban to battle to searching. You know, searching for the enemy. And I can't imagine. Like I said, we owe them so much because we have learned so much from what they had to endure.
Oh, I agree. I mean, you know, that's you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but like that's where we start seeing like special operations really becoming like its own thing.
Oh yeah,
You got the air mobile cab is doing like that's the first real like. I mean, we had the gliders and stuff in World War II, but I'm saying like air mobile is like air assault now, like the 101st does. Like that was the birth to that.
Right.
You know, tanks being used in the jungle.
In the jungle.
Like,
I mean,
just so many.
And there's like say go back to the tank. Like I was on the M1, I was a 19 kilo, but like say in, you know, the M48, it was even like the Abrams, it was mainly designed for Europe to battle the Soviets.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? I mean, a lot of.
That's the other thing that people don't think of too, is like everything that's going on in the military at the time, development wise, is what can be used to fight the Russians.
Yeah, fight the Russians in Europe.
And now here we are, like on the opposite side,
And
it's kind of like looking at World War II in the sense of World War II has two completely different perspectives of combat in the sense of the Army fighting in Europe and then the Marines island hopping to get to Japan,
right,
and the Pacific. So like that's two completely different theaters.
Oh yeah, completely.
And when you're building your army to fight one, and then you end up in a complete different scenario.
A complete different. So like say you're island hopping, you're loaded, because my grandfather was one, and he was in the Army. I mean, you're talking about loading up on ships and just taking from island to island and trying to be tactical,
Oh yeah, and then, well, I guess in the same sense too, I know we're gonna get into some more stuff, but what blows my mind about the Vietnam is honestly, we talked about this earlier, is that in World War II, even island hopping, it was I take this island, I get to the next island, I get to the next island, that gets me closer to Japan.
Right.
Gotta take Tokyo, right?
Right.
Even with invading, Europe, it was take Normandy, Paris, the Rhine, whatever. So
you're back to Munich. Yeah, you're working your way there.
This is the first time we're going to see combat fought in the sense of it's not about the land you take.
No,
it's about the body count.
Yeah, and I still don't. I don't want to say nothing to ever disrespect my Vietnam brothers.
Oh yeah, I agree.
But so much had to be on them. I mean, how do you? Define victory with a body count. Usually it's
because they didn't get the hey, take this village, we're gonna hold it, move to the next, move to the next, move to the next. Like it was
go into this area, which you experienced.
Yeah.
Same thing, and that's what I'm saying. There's so many things that I know with, especially you guys from Afghanistan, that can relate to the Vietnam vets. Again, you don't know who's your friend.
Yeah, you don't know.
Smiling faces will be shooting at you at night.
Yeah, who's the enemy, who's not, like
that.
So I will say, like, they had to fight. They were fighting like two different wars. It seems like.
And then when we talked about, you see these documentaries about how long these guys are out in the field for, and they go on these, out there for a month.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was like one. He was saying, and mind you, we've taken a week to research all, and do the best research we can. And I know we'll probably be wrong about some things, and how we feel about that. But at the same time, if you are a Vietnam vet, that's the one person that can call me and be like, "Hey, Chris, you were wrong." I will come back on here and be like, "Listen,
hey, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I said 30 days. He told me 32.
Yeah,
I was wrong." Because they deserve that.
They deserve that.
They do.
They deserve to be told their story right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
the only reason why I wanted to bring this subject into place was like I don't feel like they get talked about enough.
No.
And that's why I figured we generalize.
Right. And they don't. Yeah, I don't think they're. Of course, they're always respected and things like that, but I just don't. I feel their story is never told. To me, you can never tell their story enough. You can never praise them for what they endured and battled.
And I hate to say it like this, and they probably don't feel the same way, and that's completely okay. But I do feel like the country's a little indebted to them in the sense of like, we should always tell their story. We should always acknowledge them because they, like I said before, they didn't get what a lot of us got when we came home.
Right.
And you know who's always there at like coming home? Like even when I came home from my first deployment, landing in Colorado. It was like a Vietnam biker group that was like lined up, flags in hand, everything, like giving us coins, like telling us like thank you, and like, and they brought us home.
And and also the Vietnam vets have done so much for veteran health care.
Yeah,
a lot of guys started organizations, and that one group helped me out. I mean, they have done so much. And if anybody deserves to be praised, it is the Vietnam veteran.
I agree, because like I said, they didn't get that welcome home, but they make sure that everybody gets their welcome
and
home.
I would like to, I know we do it all the time. I'd recommend people, I wish they would, when I see a veteran with a Vietnam veteran hat on, I go up there and tell them welcome home.
Yeah, I always at least make a point to talk to them.
Yeah. I always do. So
I'm not saying that like if they're not wearing, I'm saying for me.
To me, it's the Vietnam vet. Cause
I always like.
I feel like I'm indebted to them.
Yeah.
You know, I really do.
I agree 110% with
Yeah.
you. So what we're gonna do in this little episode is we're just gonna kind of talk about Vietnam in general. We're kind of go off the cuff about some stuff. And then,
Yeah, because I mean, like you said, it was we brought in a new way to fight.
Yeah.
We had to. It wasn't conventional. Brought in new ways. Like I said, we really kicked up our special ops.
Yeah.
Then
air mobility is a huge thing.
Our Green Berets, Navy SEALs. You know,
Yeah.
it really
I think
kind
we
of transformed our military and almost what we do today. Almost, you know what I mean? The new technologies that this little plastic 22 caliber,
Yeah.
rifle they got now. You know, went from a heavy wood stock M14 to a M16.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, that's what we're gonna try to do is like kind of really just. I think the best way to set Vietnam up in the future talks is like we just go ahead and break down like equipment and like the differences and kind of like what like you just said like what we use today, thankfully, or what you even used in your time, thankfully, from Vietnam, and then like how it was improved and stuff like that. And that way, at least the setting is set for if we do like a battle or a conversation about Vietnam later. You already kind of everybody will kind of have it in mind already.
I think I got a photo. I actually had a Vietnam era flak vest on my tank. So, heavy.
Isn't that crazy?
Heavy son of a bitch.
The Army will literally implement something for so long.
Yeah.
Until like the next combat fighting season, and then they're like, or the next war or whatever, and then all of a sudden all these improvements come out. But always the guys that go over there first get stuck with like all the shit from like the war before.
Well, we've seen it in, especially like in Iraq, with the tanks, because I know the tank, the M1s I was on, the A2s, the one side I was on as a loader, towards the back, them skirts are real thin. I mean, one good RPG I would have had stuck up my ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So. But you're right. So the first initial, then from there they learn Humvees.
And they build up. Yeah.
They build up.
Humvees and Vans.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember. I know this is getting off Vietnam, but I remember like guys in Humvees in the beginning, like light skin, or like no doors in Iraq.
Oh yeah.
And then they started like throwing sandbags on the floor, and then they got like hard doors, and then like. Then eventually the up armored Humvee. Then they did away with the Humvee completely and went to like the Mac V and the Max Pro and things like that. But
it all came from what we learned, what they've learned. I shouldn't say we, but what they have learned for us.
Yeah. So even looking at the helicopter that we have on the screen, I mean, so for me, I will say like, as a kid, I don't know, man, I love this helicopter. This helicopter like is just amazing. The Huey to me was absolutely one of the sexiest, most beautiful things that the military has ever produced.
Well, and I have to agree with you with that because like growing up, the best Vietnam War movie for us was Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, and you saw
the ninth cab, you saw them, the dun dun. I mean, how could you not love the Huey?
And you know what's probably crazy is a lot of those Hueys you saw in the movie were probably like leftover from the war.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, the Huey is just. To me, it's just gorgeous.
Like we talk about, the Navy's just barely getting rid of them. I mean, to me, it's a pretty reliable. Again, it didn't have that. With the Black Hawk, you carry more troops in the Black Hawk. Yeah. You know what I mean?
The Black Hawk, I mean, we'll get into it later.
But the Black Hawk is a Cadillac, though.
But the Black Hawk is just
I took good naps on Black Hawk.
Yeah, it's just a souped up version.
It is.
And they took the Huey and they were like,
but the Black Hawk seats are not licensed.
Yeah. I do like the Black Hawk.
But the Huey was, even when I was a kid in my toys, the Huey was like.
Oh yeah.
I could never have enough Hueys.
Yeah.
And I loved them. Doing models as a kid, I always wanted I either did a Huey or I did a tank.
Yeah, and so like for me growing up, I don't know why, but my two major obsessions with the military vehicles were obviously the Jeep from World War II, the Willys Jeep, which I own a 1955 Willys Jeep now. So like that is like a Korean War era type Jeep, and the Huey. I don't know why. I was just obsessed with both of those. I don't know, the Jeep with like the 30 cal mounted on it, and then the Huey, and then of course, like, if I had to pick a third one, it was probably the Sherman tank.
The Sherman tank. Oh yeah, World War II again.
It's so iconic. I don't know why, but I never even really thought about until now. I really never thought about the tanks in Vietnam, and then you start to break it down, and it's like, goodness gracious, like, could you imagine just being a tanker in Vietnam? Like,
yeah, you know, I mean, that's when I was kind of reading up on it. They were able to knock down a lot of that thick brush that a 113 couldn't do.
Right.
But still, you're an awfully big damn target.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's kind of what's crazy is to see the, I mean, all that stuff though is implemented now. It's just a different version. That's all it is.
Right. You know, but to have to take this into war and let's see how it works.
So that's what a lot of people don't know about the Huey is that the Huey, and what sucks is I know I've got this set up for way later, but I guess we're not going to jump now.
Yeah.
But the Huey, you know, it being implemented, so it was given to the 101st, 82nd, and I think like maybe like the 173rd or something like that in the beginning. But it was given to them like in '61 for testing.
More like training tools, see how it works.
See how it works. See, this is something that we want.
Right.
And then, you know, Vietnam starts to pick up a little bit. Some of the air bases and stuff are getting attacked in Vietnam. Like they're getting a little more aggressive. So we decided to do Operation like Rolling Thunder, and like we're gonna start doing all that. So the first Hueys actually show up in like '62. Mm-hmm. So we didn't test them. It seems like very long before they were already just put into operation.
Right, and like I said, that's when all these airborne units had them. Yeah. And you say, all right, tell the first cav.
No, they're getting them.
You're getting them, and you're air mobile, air cav.
So like the helicopters go over in '62. The Hueys do to help with like base protection.
Right. And
then I guess like the Army was just like, hell yeah, we're sticking to it.
Start producing them. Yeah.
And then in '65, like you said, right, '65. Right? That's when July of '65. That's when Hal Moore and the famous the famous movie We Were Soldiers and everything like that is riding them into combat.
And it was like that first right in there, find the enemy, kill them.
Yeah.
Two different things. The change of how we fight, not take that mountain, hold on to that.
Yeah.
Find the enemy, kill them. You know.
And so the whole thing with Hal Moore, I mean, we can break that down some other day, but that was like you said, they knew that there was a big group of enemy there.
Yeah.
They were like, let's send the air cav in. We were talking 450 troops is what were delivered that day.
Right.
And
not at one time, it was throughout the day.
And each helicopter at the time, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, I know there's multiple different versions of the Huey in the sense of like longer fuselage, shorter, whatever, but most of them only carried like 6 troops at a time.
Yeah, and you're moving in there. You know.
So depending really on your LZ, how big your landing zone is, and the only reason why I can understand this from a different perspective is because of air assault, like being in the 101st, like in certain helicopters and things like that. I'm not saying that we use it in combat, but I'm saying like in training we did a lot of this.
Right.
You have to know how many helicopters you can fit into the LZ at one time. So if you can only get 6 dudes on one Huey, you can only get 6 Hueys in the circle.
Yeah, I mean,
do the math, how many dudes you got on the ground? You don't got very many. And then you've got to wait for the next group and the next group.
And the hope, you know, and it's like, now like you can refer to the movie, hope they don't attack then, because then you're really screwed. And you know they see those coming, because you know there's scouts everywhere. I mean, you're at war.
They can hear them.
They can hear them, and
I think, even in that battle, I think the first, and I might be wrong too, but the first batch to land, I think there was only like 100 troops on out of the 450.
Right.
I think they only got 100 on the first flight.
Yeah.
I do know from where they were picked up and where they were dropped off, it was 13 minutes.
Right.
That's 13 minutes one way.
Right. So 13.
13 back.
So basically,
13 back, 13 back.
So basically, you're out there for a half an hour before those next.
And that's if there's no issues in between.
Right.
Because you got to think, that's 13 minutes travel time. How long does it take to load? You know, are they bringing medevac? Like what's the whole process? So yeah, it might be a half-hour travel time, but what's the whole process in the sense of like getting them loaded? Do the choppers have to refuel? I mean, I don't.
That's what I would think. Yeah, how often they got to refuel?
So is it like it could be like an hour? I mean, I don't know. Like,
and that'd be my thing. I mean, yeah, I mean, and are all the assets I need going to be available? Airstrikes, air support. You know what I mean? I mean, my artillery. Because again, you start using artillery, they can't be up in the air.
Yeah, or you gotta time it.
You gotta time it. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. All right, come in behind it. You know what I mean?
And I think when they did go into,
I think they did prep it.
Didn't they like do like?
They did prep it.
They bombed it.
And
they hit it with artillery, and then like the artillery quit right before the choppers came in or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, let's just we can talk more about the Huey later and stuff like that, but let's go ahead and just move into because I feel like we'll spend a lot of time here.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and like, so yeah, let's just imagine the Hueys dropped us off. What is the soldier that's being dropped off that helicopter? What's he using? What's he carrying? Like, you know, what weapon systems are being implemented?
The latest rifle, the M16.
So let's kind of like dig into that a little bit and like paint the picture of like what the everyday soldier, and then like compare. You know, like I know there's things that you probably still use. You said it earlier, like from Vietnam. Like,
the web gear.
And
the rucksack.
Yep. We'll see the improvements.
Yeah.
You know, just but it's all based around the same thing. You know, like it all starts here.
All starts here. These guys they were the foundation to basically, to me, what the modern warfare we know today.
Yeah.
As in, you know.
No, I agree with you. That's literally, I was like, that's a perfect statement. I'm kind of jealous.
I'm jealous of that one.
I'm a little jealous though.
But yeah, but I mean, like the use of the fanny packs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't do that, you know, I don't think in World War. They didn't have the web gear, you know, the LBE.
Yeah, because they did have like the belt, right?
The belt, yeah, they had the belt, but they didn't, I don't think they had
the
suspenders,
yeah. So this is kind of, so the thing that I get a lot of people ask me about is like the flak jacket and the web gear, who wore them, when did they wear them, why do they did, you know, like this and that. Some movies show guys with them, some movies show them. So from my understanding, what I think about like the flak jacket and stuff, that was like a new, so, and I hate to like act like I know what I'm talking about this because I wasn't there, so I didn't get it. But from my understanding is everybody got issued a flak jacket. Yeah. It was just some people chose to wear them, some people didn't, in the sense of if you look at it, a lot of the urban warfare that's being fought, it looks like the flak jacket's being implemented.
They wore them a lot. Yeah.
But in the jungle, which I can understand.
Oh yeah.
Why would you want to wear that?
Yeah, where none of them are wearing it. I mean, it's something is going to weigh you down.
And from my understanding, the flak jacket wasn't like a very
not like the plates.
Not like plates and Kevlar now, because Kevlar wasn't even available then. Mm-hmm. It was something different.
The one that I tell you, that flak jacket I had, it felt like it was filled with sand.
Oh, sure. It probably has some material like that in it, I'm sure.
But it was heavy, and you smell like fucking ass at the end of the day of wearing it. You know, that's why I just threw it. Hopefully it stopped something in the tank. As in, I put it on the back of my hatch, you know.
That was smart, honestly. So I mean, I think that's where we see the difference moving into the future. But so like the basic infantry guy or you know Hal Moore's Air Cab would probably have been wearing what this guy's wearing right here. You know, like you said, the web gear. He's got the E-tool, the canteen, all the stuff that the modern soldier still carries to this day. The rucksack, the E-tool, all of that. It's just probably, this was probably way more comfortable to wear out in the jungle.
You guys carry bayonets anymore?
No. Oh yeah, no.
No, that's.
So I got bayonet training and basic training.
Yeah, well, I think we all,
And then when I don't think they do that anymore.
Really?
I would have to check, but I'm pretty sure they don't do that anymore.
You think that's dangerous?
The bayonet training?
As in not being prepared?
Here's my belief. I think every soldier should still have a bayonet.
That's what I'm saying. Is that something?
I think that is very dangerous to take that away.
I mean, let's take, I was watching it again. Robert Ridge there, Operation Anaconda.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually hand to hand when he rushed the machine gun bunker at one point. He was hand to hand.
That's what sucks is that the bayonet for the M16, M4, whatever, it's a very good knife. It is not like a shitty.
Yeah, we had them issued to us as tankers. I mean, it was part of our.
Well, they don't do that. They didn't issue them out anymore.
Well, I'll be damned.
Maybe I think it's because they got scared that we were gonna stick each other with them. I don't know.
The knife throwing game.
Yeah, the knife throwing. Now we're supplying them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bayonet. I have a Vietnam era bayonet.
Do you have?
I actually have one, and it's by far one of my favorite knives. Honestly, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good tool for the soldier to have. Honestly.
I mean, break up the ground real good. I mean, it was.
We all, even though we weren't issued bayonets, we all carried our own. Knives or Leathermans or Leathermans or whatever you call them. Yeah, like the multi-tool.
Multi-tool.
But I think the bayonet is just a good
idea still to have.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, maybe you're not fixing it and using it, but
still handy to have. Better to have it and not need it.
I think a lot of soldiers just need to train with the knife in general, in the sense of just how to implement a knife in survival.
Right. They use it as a tool. It's a tool when you're out there surviving.
It's not even a knife at that point. It's like your rifle is not a rifle. It's a tool.
It's a tool.
So it's crazy to see the e-tool hasn't changed.
No. Still
Speaking of tools, it's the same fucking e-tool from back then.
Yeah. I remember my brother-in-law, we were camping, and he had it, stuck it in there and folded the handle down. He used it as a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's all, you never had to do that? I said, no, I sat on the fucking tank. I didn't have to. Go, fuck you then.
Oh, man.
But
the e-tool can be used for so many different things, though. That's what's crazy.
Another backup weapon.
Yeah, I have heard stories.
Put that spade like that. I mean, you can swing it like a hatchet.
But you're using it as like a, and that's the other thing. I don't even. You're not digging foxholes in combat now, but
these guys
just with digging in general, though, like being able to use it as like a pickaxe, being able to use it as a shovel.
But like these guys, they go on patrol.
They were digging foxholes probably every night.
Every night they're digging. They're setting up a perimeter and everything every night. And you kind of see, like I walk away. I mean, he has extra canteens. I mean, I don't know if he's a medic or what, you know.
Yeah.
But
well, it looks like he's got what, 2 there.
2 there.
This guy's got 2.
2. Yeah, that's how we had 2 canteens and then 2.
Oh, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Those aren't in pouches. Those are like just strapped to them. Yeah. Like you can see, I'm not even, my canteen pouch right there. So that's what that is. That's a canteen pouch.
Oh, okay. But see the difference of.
So this is the thing. This is the flick. So this is the ACU flick.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that you don't. This is the one that you get issued for like training.
Okay.
It's part of your gear or whatever.
Right.
But the one I'm wearing is like the combat flick. That's the one that you get issued when you go overseas. And it already has like your mag pouches like built in. It's more like a bandolier that goes around your belly with like some suspender. It's really more like.
You know, it's funny. I mean, I thought even the Soviets had something like that.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Yeah, that's how.
Like a little bandolier.
They're like, hey, that's smart. You know, which it is.
It is.
Everything's right here.
So this is like a little. So these ones, this is more like a vest. It has like your big V and it has some molly loops on it.
Yeah.
But this one, the ACU one, you attach on your pouches.
Oh, okay.
This one is
it's all built.
The ammo pouches are built in like a belly band.
Yeah.
And then you have like straps that go up over your shoulders and hook down in the back. And then I've got a canteen pouch hooked to it and a tourniquet hooked to it.
Okay, quick question. On the old web gear we used to have, you had I think it's 3 slots for 3 magazines. How do they sit there now?
So I think this one holds, I want to say it holds 6 flat across.
Okay.
Thing.
So it's not
30,
not
60.
2. So
yeah, so the one that I have is flat. So what this is meant to do is you can either wear everything on your plate carrier, or you can leave your plate carrier slick and you can throw this on over top.
Right. Okay.
The flick is meant to do the same thing.
Right.
The only thing that's cool about that is when you put it over top and you get to where you're going. If you gotta leave your kit on, but you want to take some weight off, you can just take the flick off.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like when I was overseas, I never used the flick. I only used the flick back in training.
Yeah.
I attached everything to my plate carrier, but you're supposed to carry 210 rounds as a combat load. So that you can see, these are double mag pouches that he has. So it's 3, like you were saying, in the front, 3 pouches, 2 mags per. Where this one, the reason why I liked it so much is because it flattened them all out.
210 rounds was a combat load.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think in Vietnam, the combat load was still 200 rounds.
Yeah, it had to be. I mean, figure that. I'm pretty sure they had only 20 round magazines too then.
Yeah. But I still think they still carried 200 rounds was the like the prescribed
and I think
load.
it's that rucksack there.
Yeah.
This one I have, and there's even slots on the back of it where you put more magazines. I think there's like 3 slots under the flag.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty much the same thing that's sitting over there, right?
Over there, yeah.
But yeah, so you can see we've got the mags or whatever, but the canteen pouches, they don't have canteens in them, do they?
No.
You know, we use the canteen pouch for
What? Dip?
to put our nods in. That was your nods pouch. Because we didn't use the. So it's got your canteen cup in it. And you put your nods inside the canteen cup.
Nice.
So the canteen cup protects the nods from being crushed.
And then a high dollar.
Yeah, you don't want to pay for it.
But it holds them not as secure in there, huh?
But that's what's crazy is that you probably use the canteen a lot.
Yes, we did.
And
a lot.
I don't think I really use my canteen very much, honestly. We had the plastic ones.
That's what we had, plastic. But yeah, we had those, and you know, and being in a tank, you know, you have one here, a couple in there. But yeah, we drank from canteens, and we thought it was real cool when we got the 2-quart. Yeah, more water. All right. But like when we got during Desert Shield, Desert Storm, they're actually shipping truckloads of water bottles when we first started getting water bottles there. But
we use water bottles overseas a lot too. Like we have pallets of them, but we mostly had the Camelback. Yeah, that was like the big thing.
The big thing now, yeah.
And like I remember,
I think it's kind of cool though. I mean, that's smart. I
will say this: carry a lot of water. You've got your little straw. You can drink out of it at any time. But what I will say is, the bladders, they pop. And dude, I felt so bad for dudes when you would see them walking by you, like their whole back's wet and shit.
So you knew it.
And you knew exactly what happened. Their Camelback popped. And it started leaking or whatever. Yeah. And then like the canteen, you know, it's more like a regular, it's like a cup, you know, you take the lid off, you drink out of it. Well, the Camelback's more like, you know, you've got this like hose and then straw, which, yeah, it's great, you can use it at any time. But like to fill it up, you've got to pull the whole bladder like out of the bag. Unscrew this big cap, then you got to hold the bladder, and you can never get it completely full because they can start pouring back out, and it's just awkward.
Which canteens, you know, you fill them up, you know, don't put it up in the neck, just right there you did. Yeah, that's true. But then, how many quarts was the Camelback?
Oh shit, I don't
maybe
remember.
4.
Probably 4, yeah.
4 around there.
Because you still get issued your regular canteen with the 1 quart.
Do you really?
Then you get a 2-quart canteen, the big one, strapped to your ruck.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a little triangle.
Yep. Yeah. And then you get the Camelback as well.
I'll be damned. So you just get one of each.
I think you actually get 2 1-quarts.
Okay, so that's still.
I think so. I'm pretty certain.
Wow.
Because I think you get 2 1-quarts, 2 canteen pouches.
I thought that would have been obsolete after the Camelback, but I guess not.
And I do remember CIF turning the 2-quart. I don't know if your guys has had it, but the 2-quart canteen, like the little pouch it's lit.
Yeah.
They have like that little fleece fur on the inside.
Yeah, on the inside. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you go to turn that into CIF, they know whether or not it's government issue or if it's like civilian made.
Yeah.
Depending on what type of materials inside that little pouch.
Bastard.
So if you've got the wrong material, they won't take it. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Check or chocolate.
Something had happened at some point in time where my 2-quart canteen.
Yeah.
The pouch was wrong. So
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how I got. Probably like gave it to somebody and they gave me something back. It looks identical. But when I went in there, the dude was like, "Nah, bro.
This ain't go fast.
This ain't government issue. So you owe me." And I'm like, "Bro, I don't owe you
shit." Yeah.
I owe the Army, but
Yeah,
I hate it when the CIF would be like, "Yep, well, you owe me this."
That's where they are. You owe me.
I'm like, "Fuck you, dude. You're prior military."
Yeah.
Probably.
Show me some love.
Like, dude, you know how hard you get fucked down. Like, imagine these guys.
But you know, that guy probably never even broke out his K-50.
He was probably fucking supply.
Left it in the locker until it was time to PCS.
Well, my shit was clean. I'm like, well, you didn't fucking use it. But look at all this extra shit. So, like, what you got that bag? I'm not really even for sure what. That looks like a compass pouch to me.
Yeah.
But
and
I'm
also,
not for sure
our like what he's got him right here was our field dressing.
Oh, okay. So that's like your little.
Yeah, that was.
So like where I carried the tourniquet, you're carrying like the field.
Yeah, all it was something to cover a wound,
okay.
basically. Yeah, and then your combat, like I was our combat lifesaver, so that's why I carried the IVs, tourniquets. But if I got fucked up, then hopefully somebody else knows how to use them.
So you didn't have a. Did you have a medic that traveled in your platoon?
We had a medic in our not even our platoon. I was basically the first platoon medic.
So when you said combat life, so that's another thing that blows my mind, because when you said combat lifesaver,
yeah,
we all have to go to combat lifesaver course.
Yeah, I know. I went through it. There's a couple of us that were combat lifesaver. But
you're talking about this is actually like an additional responsibility for us. This was all like how to apply a tourniquet.
Oh no,
how to do this, how to do that. But we had a medic in our platoon.
You know, we didn't have one in our platoon. We had one in our troop. Had a couple of them in our troop. But no, I was like,
so you're talking about the combat lifesaver course.
When we took the course, you gave each other IVs, everything.
See, yeah, we did the same thing, but the whole instance for us was that we just knew how to do it in case Doc went down. You're talking about it in the sense of like,
I got to keep him alive till Doc can get to us.
You were doing it in the sense of you were like the acting medic.
Yeah, it was
only a couple of you went through the
course. Went through the course, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had the bag with me at all times.
So you had like the A bag.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Right, yeah, it was me and
I'll tell you what, we all bitched about combat lifesaver course. We're like going through like, oh, I'm gonna have to call some of the guys, but it was called something like, I can't remember now.
Yeah, we called it
like Eagle something.
Yeah,
we had to go over like the medics like station for like 3 days and learn.
Ours was like a week.
How to put tourniquets on IVs, and we all fucking hated it.
Ours was like a whole week of all day long.
Oh, I'll tell you this: the medics, because we gave the medics shit. We really did. Like, we have one medic per platoon, and it's always like a private, you know, shit. That was the one day that they got to be like, "You're in my world. This is my job. You're not so good at giving IVs, Sergeant, huh?" And I'm like, well, I don't care about IVs when I'm killing motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's it. I don't want to receive, I want to give.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think about that. So yeah, I mean, they're probably doing the same shit then.
Oh yeah. You know, I mean, probably the same training, you know, they went through.
And do you think that's all because, you think like how they got to that point is probably because of World War II? Not enough people trained in the...
I think so, you know what I mean? And what got me about World War II, you know, I guess your medics didn't even carry weapons.
No.
You know, and now, you know, it was kind of silly because you want that extra rifle, you know what I mean? You know, so...
I will give it to medics, they are dual hat.
Oh yeah, I mean, another can't be talked about enough is a combat medic.
Yeah, because Doc has put through some shit in the sense of...
They take shit from... I know we used to, you know, give our medic shit all the fucking time.
Yeah, I was pretty rough on some medics.
Yeah.
But I will say...
but a lot of those guys who, you know...
They're expected to do like...
got, you know, VD, you know, Doc was a hero at that penicillin shot.
I think medics back then had a little more leeway with what they could do.
Yeah.
now I don't think they get. I think they're more of like. It's crazy. I'm not trying to fuck them, but I'm not trying to downplay them in the sense of. I think the Army has put more restrictions on what the combat medic is allowed to do versus what. Like back then, like you were saying, they're treating VD, they're treating herpes. All of it, right?
Hold them down. Say we grab this guy, we'd hold him down.
And I'm sure that's what they were doing in Vietnam. But now, like the medic is more like, sounds like kind of more like that combat lifesaver that you were. And like, I mean, I could have some bumps on my dick and Doc not know what it is.
Yeah.
But Doc could take care of a sprained ankle.
Right.
Give me an IV.
Yeah.
If I had a gunshot wound,
our dog was pretty good, man. I'd go to him before I even go see a doctor.
But I'm saying that they wouldn't let medics like give penicillin
shit like
to
that,
you.
right?
Yeah, no. Like it's more like
you got to go to the clinic.
Yeah, you gotta go to the AIDS, and then everybody knows.
Then everybody knows, and then you gotta go stand tall in front of the man because hitting that rotten coochie. You damage government property.
Now, I'm not saying for those reasons, but Doc saw my dick a couple times over some other shit. But so speaking of just like equipment and stuff, like I know we kind of like sidebarred there for a little bit, but so that is a 101st Airborne soldier in Vietnam then, and then this was when I was in. So that going to like the camelback, the difference in the rifle. He's wearing that web gear. I'm wearing the plate carrier. Like that's what's insane is just to see. The pictures are so similar in the sense of like the backdrop,
everything,
the dirt, everything else. But
like I mean, look at like so what they're walking out of. I mean, these guys, it was worth carrying less. Just carrying what you needed.
And I agree with that in the sense of, I remember this training mission right here, right? So we go do this training mission. We started off in this, and then eventually we get down to just the flick and the plate. Because you start realizing like the heat, the humidity, all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, the plate carrier is cool in the sense that it can stop around. But at the same time, in that moment, I didn't give a fuck. Even if it was combat, I wouldn't give a fuck about it being around.
Right.
I'd rather be
comfortable.
Yeah.
And like, we always talk about that. I always mention the elephant grass. I've heard stories was just razor sharp. And then, you get in that canopy and it's just, I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine.
The best comparison, and I don't know infantrymen went to Fort Polk for Tigerland and stuff like that, but being there and being in the backwoods of Fort Campbell, I mean, look, that's Vietnam. This is Fort Campbell. I mean, the dirt, everything. Besides it being like a jungle, it's woods. But I told everybody, once you break into that canopy, this is in the forest.
Yeah.
In western Tennessee, it gets 10 to 15 degrees hotter. In there,
and you think it'd be cooler, but it doesn't.
So you can only imagine what the jungle was like.
And it's like to me, it's almost like if you're in a steam room.
Oh, that was what one of the documentaries was talking about. It was like, it was like being in a steam bath.
Yeah.
All day, 24/7.
Yeah, and the one documentary I always talk about, the Dear America Lives on for Vietnam. The guy's you're in this jungle.
Yeah.
You can't see 3 feet in front of you. And he goes, and you got a guy with the latest weapon, AK-47, trying to kill your ass. He said, you age on one patrol. And I go, I'm sure. I bet you do.
But I mean, look at this dude, like, no shirt on underneath.
Yeah. He's wearing those black gloves. They still give those out? The leather gloves, the black leather gloves?
I don't think mine were black. I think mine were like a tan color. But yes,
tan.
I did have a leather. But I am wearing black gloves there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You do have to wear, so this is what I was telling you. You have to wear eye pro and gloves.
All the time?
All the time. So you can wear dark lenses during the day, but you have to wear clear at night. You have to wear gloves 24/7.
That would drive me up the fucking wall.
So, and this is like, I think this is like Heat Cat 1 or something like that. So you can, but this is how it walked around all the time and got yelled at. But you could undo your cuffs.
Right.
But the Army didn't actually bring back the the Marine Corps can do it.
Yeah, they roll. Remember how we used to? Did you ever have to roll your sleeves up?
No, so that wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
So that recently just got brought back, and it's commander's discretion. But a lot of commanders will not allow you to roll your. That was like the last year I was into, and that got brought back.
Yeah.
And
because we rolled ours different than the Marines. You know, the Marines roll it where you still see the inside.
Yeah.
You know, us, you fold it back, right? And then you roll in the inside and you throw that last flap over it, so it's all still one color.
Yeah. See, now that went away.
Oh, okay.
So you got this. This was you unbuttoned.
Yeah.
And then I think like 2 or 3 or something like that is like you could roll it like 1 roll or 2 roll or something to make the sleeve stay open. But other than that, that's all you got, and you have to unbox your boots. But you weren't allowed to take, you weren't allowed to roll anything up, take anything off. And I'm not saying I had it easier or harder than them, but in that sense, I saw videos of dudes in Vietnam and like pictures and stuff running around shirtless or like.
Oh yeah, I saw one video. In fact, it was the medic. He had no shirt on. His LBE, he was wearing his web gear, and that's all he had in his rifle, going through the jungle.
And that's where I'm like,
I think when you get them,
but I'm like, why not?
Yeah, exactly. That's my whole thing. Why not? If he just wants to wear a hat flipped up, fucking let him.
Like
this guy's going through enough shit that you gotta be on.
I can even understand. Like, listen, you gotta wear your web gear. You gotta wear your helmet.
Yeah.
You gotta wear fucking pants because I don't want to see your dick.
Right.
But if you want to downgrade to
if you just want to wear the undershirt, yeah, so be it.
Why not? And it's all about the Army. Somewhere was like uniform.
But to me, that's ridiculous because, and I'm sure there's probably gonna be somebody saying, "Well, the reason why we do this, well, then fuck you. You probably weren't out there."
Yeah.
Is you're going through enough shit.
Well, even look at
to let them have some comforts, because you know as well as I do, being out there. Comforts are rare and they're little. You don't have any comfort.
And I think the reason why the uniform discipline wasn't very high in Vietnam is because it was a lot of draftees, so much shit going on.
I don't give a fuck.
So many different people integrated and just thrown into combat.
Yeah.
That they probably were just like, I'm just glad to have my fucking platoon, make it through another day. So if Joey wants to take his fucking top off, I don't give a fuck.
See, but that's how I am.
But that's the way I look at it in the sense of once you walking around Fort Campbell, be in the proper uniform.
But when you're
in combat,
you're in the shit. Yeah.
If your whole platoon decides the top is too hot,
and
you're going to be more effective at fighting in a t-shirt,
just wear that t-shirt.
Wear a fucking t-shirt.
Like I said, just the minimal: helmet, pants, and boots.
Yeah. That's like
everything else.
This right here, like
and make sure you have your combat load.
Well, the plate carrier, right?
About. Yeah.
The plate carrier, great for urban combat. I get. That's why I saw the flak jacket and was like, oh, it seems like everybody.
Yeah, you're right. Though a lot of the
urban combat are the ones wearing it. But if I've got to go hike through the fucking jungle or the woods at fucking Fort Campbell,
I don't want that damn thing on me.
All that is weight and trapping body heat.
But you're right about the urban warfare. I think I was watching a video about the Battle of Hue. And like a lot of guys were.
Yeah, they were all wearing. For the most part, everybody in Hue, Saigon.
Were wearing the
flak. What's the other one? I can't remember the other one. But yeah, they were all wearing flak jackets.
Yeah.
But then every footage you see about them, like taking a hill or Hamburger Hill or in the woods or in the jungle,
they're dressed like these guys.
They're dressed like those guys, and I'm like, why not? Why not even now dress for the fight that you're in?
You're in.
Special Forces does it.
Yeah, but what
Delta
makes
doesn't?
Why makes them they accept? I mean, it should be a rule for everybody.
That's right. So even you guys didn't have it. We had the combat shirt. So the combat shirt it eliminates the top and the undershirt, and it's just one long sleeve shirt. Okay. But the center part and the back was supposed to be more breathable. Had like little holes punctured through it or whatever.
Yeah, almost like a jersey.
Yeah, and it was like a little bit thinner and stuff. So I will say, they gave us the combat shirt.
Yeah.
But it's still long fucking sleeve. And when you look at videos of SEALs or fucking SF dudes, they're wearing combat shirts, but you know what they did to them?
Cut sleeves.
They cut the fucking sleeves off. They've got them all cut off like t-shirts.
Yeah,
because they even understand long sleeves is fucking retarded sometimes.
It is.
And sometimes, I get it. Long sleeves is great for protecting the skin, but if I'm gonna take a hot piece of shrapnel,
to me, my skin's the last thing on my fucking mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get two shits if I get sunburned or not. I'm worried about my day-to-day living. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's like the gloves.
You get those guys. I think those guys sometimes get to the Pentagon, and I think there's a lot of guys who've never had a bed in the shit who are making calls.
No. So I mean, I can understand the reasoning how things happen in the sense of like an eye pro.
Right.
Well, too many soldiers are getting eye injuries.
Right.
Okay, cool. But at the same time, wearing clear eye pro at night with nods. You know how fucking stupid that is? How difficult that is?
But
you put the nods down, it hits your fucking eye pro, it's bouncing in your face, and then you get a glare off the eye pro.
That is so, I just don't
stupid,
understand.
Right?
I mean, I just don't understand this shit. Especially if a guy who's not used to wearing
glasses
at all.
So
I didn't wear glasses until I needed to wear them.
But you know, I think the eye pro became a thing with your generation in the sense of going over to the desert, which the sand can blind you like the snow. Yeah. So yeah, sunglasses.
Yeah.
I fucking get that. But I don't get
is the clear
eye pro at night.
That don't make sense.
And they say it's because of the eye injuries, or if you don't have your eye pro on, a stick's gonna jam you. These motherfuckers right here, and I hate to call them motherfuckers, I love them to death, but these motherfuckers right here are marching through the jungle, fighting Viet Cong, shirtless, no night vision, and no fucking eye pro.
And I bet you not one will say, man, I wish I had some eye protection when I was out there.
Yeah, man, I really wish, you know what you probably really wish you would have had? Night vision goggles.
Night vision goggles,
But not fucking
some thermal imaging would have been real fucking great. Yeah, but I ain't worried about wearing my clear lenses.
Look at this dude wasn't looking like a fucking
That's what I'm saying.
nerd.
I think to me that it's gotten a really lot, and you would know more because you were in here recently, a lot of silly shit.
Just dumb stuff.
And I can't. I tell you, I respect guys who can stay in the military that long and take this shit.
Oh,
I really do. I respect them so much.
Well, let's take a break. Let's pause right here. We'll take a break, and then when we come back, let's talk about some of the weapons and stuff. We spent a lot of time.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was great. But I'm just saying, let's get into some of the weapons that are being used because I definitely want to talk about your version of the M16, my M4, their M16, and then we still got the tank to cover. We've already hit the helicopter up pretty much.
Pretty much. We can still come back to it, especially when we get to the Chinook, because the Chinook's
a whole another
amazing.
But let's talk about weapons when we get back.
Sounds good.
All right.